Hi, welcome to a new episode of Track and Talk. This is our channel where we keep track on how IoT can help you to make all your assets visible, from a small box to a giant container, indoor and outdoor. I'm Pieter Jan, I'm marketing manager at Sensolus, and today Pieter, product manager at Sensolus, joined Track and Talk. So welcome, Pieter, for the first time.
Thank you.
I always start when there's a new guest in the show by asking what gives you energy in your personal life. I do that because battery life is important at Sensolus, and I want to know on a personal level what gives you the energy in your daily life.
Well, one of the things that recharges me, 6 years ago when COVID started, I started playing piano. It's something I wanted to do, and COVID, the free time just pushed me over a little bit.
All right.
And I just finished playing Rêverie by Claude Debussy. It's a beautiful piece, heavily recommended. So I'm actually quite proud of that, and recharges my battery.
I have no knowledge, but it sounds very impressive, but I am not familiar with piano.
It's a challenge, but with tenacity you can get there. Everybody can do it.
I can imagine. Today we're here to talk about BLE asset tracking, because in a normal world, you would just hang a smart tracker. We'll explain a bit more on each asset, but that's not always suitable. I mean, sometimes the price doesn't fit your business case, but it's also the size of a tracker, because you can't hang a tracker like this on a cart or a box or whatever. So I would like to talk with you about BLE asset tracking, and I would like to start with explaining a bit what is Bluetooth asset tracking exactly, how do we compare it against other location technologies, and then let's pick 3 use cases we see in the field that we've done with Sensolus and how it applied in the real world. So let's maybe start with explaining what is Bluetooth asset tracking.
Yes, okay. So BLE stands for Bluetooth Low Energy. Okay. It's using the Bluetooth signals to track assets, right? How does it work in general?
Maybe show one, we have a couple of them.
Yes, we have some here. So these are Bluetooth tags, small devices, right? We have them in different sizes because, as we mentioned, the size matters and there still varies in sizes. It's emitting every so many seconds a short ping. So it's actually pinging. Now these are all pinging, and the signal must be picked up. The range of this ping, well, compared to your headphones, you can be in your garden and still have a reasonable range, 20, 50 meters can be done depending on the configuration, right? And this ping is then caught by a tracker or another, could be one of these, could be one of these gateways mounted to a wall, could be a vehicle tracker, which is also listening to it, right? And then these smart gateway devices send this data to the cloud where the data is collected. Right? So we call them smart trackers because a good benefit is that you can remotely configure these listening devices.
Over the air we can
over the air just without going there. That's a very important property. You need some security that must be done, and it also needs to do some first level of noise filtering, right? Now, one of the biggest challenges that we observed with our customers is that if you want to have a scanning device, one of the most expensive and challenging parts is the cabling. Right?
The infrastructure around
the infrastructure, So typically when you have a new building, of course, for the IT, you do the Wi-Fi network. But if you then need some extra coverage in some locations for Bluetooth scanning, you need to install the device, right? Now, retrofitting a factory is actually a very expensive thing. If you want to pull cables, the cost of the cable pulling is 10x more than the actual installation. Also, interrupting operations, the more work it is, that's also a no-go. So if you, as a logistical manager, you want to start tracking something and you need to, halt operations on some places, that's actually something you want to avoid, right? So we have a unique solution which is completely free of wiring. And the wires serve 2 purposes. First of all, the power, and therefore we have a battery-powered solution. You can actually have a solution depending on your configuration where the scanning device lasts for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years, right? And then just replacing the battery every X years is way less of an investment than installing cables. Secondly, these things will not communicate through network cables or not even using the Wi-Fi. They will connect using the cellular network, which is completely separate from the local IT infrastructure, also less intrusive on the existing systems. So clean separation of concerns, which makes it also a much more cost-effective way to install.
So for us, it's a technology to be installed very simple, plug and play even, I would call it, and that's the easy way to get started.
It's really ultralight infrastructure.
Ultralight infrastructure.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then all these data, they go to the cloud where everything is collected, and then you have the typical things of the regular asset tracking with smart gateways, maps, reports, alerts, and so on and so forth.
Yeah, all right. Now, we talked about Bluetooth, but there are a lot of other technologies to location. I'm thinking about GPS, Wi-Fi. Can you pinpoint some of them and just explain the differences?
Yes, okay, so GPS tracking, satellite-based tracking, everybody knows GPS trackers. We use the word for any tracker, but actually GPS only works outdoors. Yeah. It's relatively quite power intensive, so integrating a GPS tracker on a small device such as this doesn't make sense because it would reduce the battery lifetime. It is possible, of course, but remember we're talking about 5-10 years lifetime of the tags. That is our goal. Yeah. Right. Okay. So for Bluetooth asset tracking, not a solution. Yeah. Okay. Related is RFID technology. We say Bluetooth tags, BLE tags versus RFID tags. RFID tags are also very low-cost tools. Now there, actually, one of the problems is you need scanning materials, scanning devices. A typical thing is a gateway. So the tagged asset passes through something, it is detected, and then you know it was there.
It's a physical gateway you have to install.
It's really a physical gateway. It can be very accurate. Also, the range is less, so that also enables more accuracy. The disadvantage is if you miss something, well, then you miss it. And if you lose something, you don't find it back.
Yeah, and if you have 5 entries, you need 5 gateways.
Yes,
exactly.
If you have
6 entries, so it can...
Yeah, it can really stack the costs. So that makes it a challenge. All right. Wi-Fi sniffing is also something that the smart gateways can do. This is... Well, there is Wi-Fi access points everywhere, in corporate environments, factories, also at home. There's companies that actually, and each Wi-Fi gateway has a unique fingerprint, which is detectable. It doesn't mean you connect to it. And there's companies like Google, Apple, and other things. When you just scan and then you report this location, they make a big database of all these fingerprints. And then you can ask, okay, given these fingerprints, where was I? And this works great for indoors. So it's a good complement. Outdoors GPS, Wi-Fi sniffing is great for indoor localization. But also quite energy intensive. Also needs something, you need to ask to another server, where am I? So you need a connection. Doesn't fit on a small Bluetooth tag.
Okay, all right, clear.
And then something we also need to mention, so Bluetooth asset tracking, the one that everybody knows is Apple AirTags.
Yes, indeed.
That is also a Bluetooth low energy asset tracking solution. It is crowdsourced by everybody's iPhone or Apple device. Now, you will also know that Apple AirTags, well, they don't last 5 or 10 years. You need to recharge them. And secondly, the challenge is this is really for consumers. You can only have 32 devices in your account. So as a business, you cannot grow larger than that. There are some companies that we see that are actually covering this. This is really at the limits of the terms of service by Apple. So Apple is actually not offering a service for that, right? If they ever do it, it would be a bit like Wi-Fi sniffing. The same arguments will hold. It can be good, but probably there's going to be charges. So the more you use it, there will be some costs associated.
Seems a bit risky for business critical operations that you depend on.
Yes, but it's a question we get a lot, but it would be great, but unfortunately not happening.
Well, today we have several BLE tracking use cases in the field. Airbus, for example, Vaillant, Ampere, who works with Bol.com. Airbus, what do we do there with BLE tracking? In short, how do we see that there?
Yeah, so at Airbus we have deployed a solution together where they are tracking the tools which are used inside the factories where the airplane gets built.
So there you need the smaller tags because you can't hang a big tracker on equipment. That's the use case.
And there it is for time saving. Finding back tools in such a big environment is a challenge. Sometimes tools get to a repair shop. Maybe it's not registered. Knowing I can find it in the repair shop. Very useful. Also for regulatory and operational requirements, some tools must be placed back at their location at the end of the shift. Well, you can have a procedure that demonstrates this is done. Also, some tools must leave the airplane when finished, having the proof that the tools that you have used are outside of the airplane is really important for aerospace companies.
Objects.
Exactly. You don't want to have incidents. The cost of such an incident is way bigger than having a few extra tags on tools installed.
Moving to Vaillant, I know we're tracking more than 1,600 cards there. Again, BLE solution we have there.
Yes, somewhat different use case, not for the compliance or not for the time saving, not the operational time saving, but it is related to time saving, right? Yeah. So the challenge that they had is we have a lot of movement in our warehouse, different zones. Yeah. Now we want to know, well, maybe some things are standing there longer and maybe we need to actually, we have pickup schedules. Should we rearrange our schedules to operate, to improve the performance, right? The only way to do that is, well, there's some challenges. RFID gateways, not possible, too intrusive, too expensive. High accuracy tracking would be great, but expensive. And also installing it in an operational factory, very difficult. And then counting, well, you could ask people to count. Well, that's intensive. And secondly, the people that do the counting don't have the intensive to show where there are shortcomings, right?
I understand.
So all the data is collected, you know where your cards are moving, and then you can use that to optimize your operations.
Okay. The last one is an interesting one. It's Ampere, who is a logistic provider for bol.com, because we integrate with another technology there that's already existing there.
Yes. So indeed, so Bluetooth, low energy, there's many scanning devices that exist. We've talked about Apple AirTag. There's a complication that you cannot use any smartphone, especially of different models. This will be too complicated. It doesn't work. There's some variations across hardware. Now, but in a case where there's, for example, already a scanning device standardized deployed, as was the case with Ampere, this can work. And you can use these external devices also with our solution, with the software to scan. So more in detail, the drivers have their industrial smartphone with them. They always have them in a cradle in their car. They use that for knowing the next delivery address. So it's already embedded in the operations. And then adding our software on top of that, and you suddenly have a large amount of extra scanners. The trucks drive around and you can know with good algorithms where has something been delivered, where is it picked up, and then track your entire flow of logistics thanks to the combination of these Zebra scanners. And then on places where, for example, there's no coverage or you want to have really good coverage, you install one of our smart gateways as a complement to gain the great coverage.
All right, very interesting. Thanks, Peter, for the explanation about BLE asset tracking.
Yes.
Also, thank you for watching. So don't forget to subscribe on our YouTube channel. Also, you can listen to this episode on Spotify. And on our website, we have a full knowledge hub for you available if you want to learn more. Thank you again and hope to see you next time. Bye-bye.